Who is going to fill out the rest of the Orlando Magic's roster spots? Well, today we're going to be talking about who they have signed recently to their Exhibit 10 deals, who's coming on in for training camp, and what this could potentially mean for their career. Guys, the Orlando Magic are gearing up to get training camp started. I know we're still a second away, but it starts on October 1st, and we're going to talk about all of the guys who could potentially be in the running to make it onto the team and make it on one of those last two-way spots that the Orlando Magic have. But first, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to build an Orlando Magic basketball community here on YouTube, and subscribing to the Magic Digest channel is the easiest and best way to do so. All right, let's get into the first player. I'm going to be talking about three today that are in the running to get the final two-way spots. Okay. We're going to talk about Javante Smart. Now, they didn't just recently sign him. They just recently traded for him. They're going to give him an Exhibit 10 deal and let him come into training camp. Now, they gave away a couple of familiar faces, one being RJ Hampton, but they felt like it was time to go. Javante Smart comes over from the Delaware Bluecoats. He's played 18 games in his NBA career, only 2 last year, to maintain that two-way eligibility, and they're going to see exactly what he can do. He's 6'4", 205, so he's playing the 2 for the most part. Now, I don't really know if he would even really get any sort of, chance to be the ball handler or the main ball handler, especially on the Orlando Magic, but he definitely, I could see, fit as that, third or fourth 2-guard coming off of the bench. Now, in his 18 games, as I mentioned, that he has played in the NBA over the last 3 seasons, he scored 51 points in 200 minutes and has shot 19 for 60 from the floor. Now, that's 31.7% from the floor. That's not very good, but still, in his years as a G League player, it's still been pretty good. He's a career 40.3% three-point shooter, so that's pretty good. You got to like that. Now, last year, he averaged 20.9 points per game, 5.4 assists per game, and shot 42.4% from 3. In the first 2 seasons as a G League player, he shot 39.6% and 37.5%. Now, this is a player that like I said, could see him coming off the bench at the very, at the very end, and this could be a guy that could come in for, roster depth whenever we're injured or, we really need it. So I really like this kind of pickup, this kind of Exhibit 10 deal. You're going to give him a shot. We're going to see exactly what he can do at the next level. Now, the other player that the Orlando Magic have just recently acquired is going to be McClung. Now, I did just talk about him in the last video, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But Shams did report that McClung is coming back to the Orlando Magic again for this training camp. He was the G League MVP last year and was just overall a very good player. He is, and I've heard what you guys have said in the comments below, he is an NBA caliber player. I do believe that. I'm just saying, I don't know if he's going to get that, chance on the Orlando Magic or if he's going to be able to reach that potential. But he averaged 25.2 points per game last year and 6 assists per game. He is the 2-time slam dunk champion and obviously has a very big following. Played plenty of years in college and obviously was a great high school basketball player. So that is something that is obviously in his favor. That fanfare, well-known guy. You could definitely see him kind of packing the stands, but that's not all that he's going to be known for. Just in general, I would just feel like that is very necessary to say that, he is a fan favorite, so you could see why a lot of people are rooting for him. Now, he was in training camp last year. We've seen him in the NBA sparingly, but it just seems like he's got the athletic ability, the shooting, and he's really kind of honed in on his game. Now, if you're looking for a guy who could potentially have a lot of potential or have a higher ceiling than a regular G League player, I think McClung would be your guy. But out of these individuals, it's really tough to say. It just depends on how they play in training camp. So I would hate to kind of just lean one specific way and just say, oh, McClung's going to get that spot or one of the 2 spots, because obviously he wasn't exactly that player for the Orlando Magic for the most part last year. He didn't really play for us, so tough to say. But still, McClung is the second player. Now, when we look at the next player, we're going to talk about Ethan Thompson. Now, they did just acquire him as well in a trade. They just acquired him from Mexico City. He played for them last year, and he played for 2 years for the Windy City Bulls. They just got him. He appeared on NBA Summer League rosters such as the Bulls and the Pacers and the Warriors. He's 6'5", 195, and he's played 97 games in his 3 seasons in the G League. He is averaging 16.9 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game, 3.7 assists per game, and he's averaging about 33 minutes. Now he's shooting 42% from the field. That's a little low, and obviously 33% from three-point range is low as well. So he's sitting around marks that you would really like to be better, but the Orlando Magic are going to take another swing at a guy who could potentially be that 2 guard for this team. 6'5", 195 is good size, but you're really looking for more as far as the shooting is concerned. And it makes me think that you see McClung in that picture would get the nod instead. Now, as far as whether or not he would be better than Javante Smart, we'll have to see. They did just acquire Ethan Thompson today, so we don't really know exactly what we're getting. And we won't really know, like I said, until training camp rolls around and see who plays better. Now, Thompson, in his career at Oregon State, played 127 games, started all of them, and averaged 13.5 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists. He did shoot similar splits. He shot 42% from the field and 34% from 3. I would say the real big thing that's keeping him right now in the G League and from being a consistent two-way guy is going to be that shooting. And that is why I probably would still, like I said, would give the nod to some of the other players. Now, who else was also in that deal, or who else has been kind of around the team that could potentially make it? Well, I did not mention Ron Baker, but he is also another individual that was just acquired and somebody to definitely keep an eye on. Now, when they made the deal with the Hawks, they sent over Plowden, Daquan Plowden, who had just been on Osceola. Now, that seems to be, from what I have been able to read, more of a trade that the Hawks liked Plowden rather than we liked Robert Baker. But still, at the end of the day, he is a guy who averaged 15 points per game and 6.3 boards last year for the Skyhawks, so that could be an intriguing get. He averaged 9.2 points per game and 5 boards in 5 appearances for their summer league as well. Their summer league was an okay performance for him, but you're certainly looking to do more. And when we also take a look at DJ Wilson, who was also a part of the Ethan Thompson acquisition, he's going to be a returning player. He's averaged 27 starts last year, 21 points per game, 9.8 rebounds, 4.9 assists per game. So he's played a lot of basketball in the Orlando Magic. So he's been right under us. Let me know, guys, if I am forgetting anybody. It's a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different players that I'm not really familiar with, but I'm trying to do my best here. Guys, let me know who out of those players, those batch of players, is your favorite. Who would you like to see? Trevlin Queen is also back. I definitely could see him being the other two-way guy. I would say if I had to put my money on it, I didn't mention much about Queen because I feel like we know a lot about him, but it would be probably Queen and McClung for those last two-way spots. But we're going to see, because these Exhibit 10 deals, like I said, are all about what you end up doing in training camp. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but that's all the time that we have for today. Next time I will see you guys, we'll be with more Orlando Magic basketball content.